Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carey. Thank you for stopping by today to see what's on the agenda. It is dating advice as per usual. Gosh, I haven't made a makeup tutorial in some time. Anybody up for that? Fall makeup, wow. I just got 2 new shadow palettes. Maybe we should play a little bit. Oh, don't worry fellas, I'm not doing that today. So this channel is geared towards women in their 50s, over 50, like me, but I know that 20% of you, or a little bit more, are fellas, and about 25% are between 25 and 35, some people in the middle, and then my over 50 gals kind of kick in with the big percentage. And I appreciate all of you stopping by. I think that just shows that dating advice kind of is for everybody. We're all in the same boat and kind of just trying to find our way and paddle ourselves to shore with a partner, hopefully, by the time we get there. These are 5 things to not expect on or just after a first date. So if you have expectations, you may want to clear them away, and especially these 5. Here they are, 5 of them coming right at you right now. Number 1, don't expect for him to pay. He may. I know a lot of men are like, I can afford it. It was just a cocktail and appetizers. But there are some guys who are like, not sure I wanted to see her again, or I wanted to see how she'd react if I did allow her to split the bill with me. And I think you know my go-to phrase, how to handle that check showing up. I think that the women should always offer and be prepared in the situation to pay. But I think you should always offer and say, can I help you with that? And if he says, no, I've got it, one more time, say, are you sure? And if he goes, no, it's on me, then just show your appreciation with a thank you or 2. And, but be prepared for him to say, yeah, sure, please, help me out. A lot of people think, I do want to see her again. She can catch the next one. People play it differently, and especially younger people have grown up with the equality of paying and going Dutch. I know lots of people in their 30s who have been together for years as a couple, and they still take turns paying for everything because it just seems fair. So don't be surprised if he allows you to pay, and don't have expectations. Don't leave your wallet at home. Be prepared to pay your way. Number 2, don't expect for him or this other person to have the same texting style you do. Don't expect them to respond at the same speed or the same intervals or right away after a date. It may be that you love to hear from somebody saying, hey, did you get home okay? But everybody's different. He may not text or reach out for a few days. He may text the next morning and say, how did you sleep? Or I had a great time last night. We should do it again sometime. I love that. I love both of those personally. My own coaching clients, I do recommend that they ask the lady to text when she gets home to let him know that she got home safely. And I like the messaging the next day to thank somebody for a nice evening and put it out there that you intend to see them again, so they don't have to wonder. But don't have expectations of that, because there are a lot of people who don't have a matchmaker or a dating coach, and therefore are winging it their own way and don't think that they have to text, even though they really had a great time, until they're ready to make plans midweek or closing in on next weekend. So no expectations usually works well. If you don't expect that, you're not disappointed. And eventually, if you become a couple, you can negotiate what you want as far as texting speeds. Like if I text you, I expect a text back like within the next 3 hours, not the next day. So you can ask for that eventually, but be cool. Take it slowly at the beginning. Number 3, don't expect for him to call just because you slept with him on a first date. Don't expect it, because a lot of times it doesn't happen. It doesn't necessarily change things for your date. They could be a person who thinks that's perfectly normal first date and doesn't require anything different. It may be that you don't often sleep with somebody on a first date, so you expect special treatment, special communication, quick communication, and more of it perhaps because that was special to you, but it may not be to the other person. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't say that statistics say that you may not receive somebody asking you for a second date as often as you would had you not slept with them on the first date. I'm not saying not to. I'm saying just be aware that your choices may impact the future with that person based on statistics. But I still say do whatever you want. do what feels right to you and don't let statistics dictate that. It's up to the individual, but don't have expectations around that. Number 4, don't expect that he will have the same feelings about the chemistry you shared or the lack thereof of chemistry that you thought you didn't have. I always thought, before I was a matchmaker, before I was a dating coach, that if I felt something special with someone, a connection, really strong chemistry, that of course they felt it too. And then I watched an episode of The Bachelor in the early seasons of The Bachelor. So while I was watching The Bachelor, it showed the couple in the hot tub, and there's a voiceover of her saying, "We have such amazing chemistry. I'm not at all worried about the other women in the house. I know what I felt, and it felt amazing, and I know that we have chemistry that nobody else has." And then it cuts to them still in the hot tub, and you hear The Bachelor say, "She's really lovely girl. I really enjoy her company, but we have no chemistry." And at that moment, I realized it's not always reciprocal. So if you felt no chemistry, don't be surprised if she's expecting a call and a second date because she thought there was. If you see her on the street next week and she's a little annoyed that you had amazing chemistry, despite the fact you thought, well, gosh, she certainly knew that we had nothing going on. We just could not get conversational chemistry going or emotional chemistry, no physical chemistry, so she's not expecting me to reach out, certainly. She may be, because she may have felt completely differently. And same thing for fellas, right? This is not one way or the other. You may be responsible for sharing with this fella that you had a great time, but this wasn't the romantic connection you were hoping for, and let him know when he asks you out for a second date that there really was no chemistry. Just don't expect the other person to have felt the same thing you did. It could be total opposites. And finally, number 5, don't expect him to chase you, especially if you are playing hard to get. I know that some women like to kind of play it cool and not seem super vulnerable or be forthcoming with the fact that they had a great time and they'd love to see you again. But that really does usually work better, works in your favor. Playing hard to get is seen as manipulation by a lot of men, and they don't like that. They want somebody to make them feel that it was special, that you had a nice time. That's encouragement to them so that they want to continue to make you feel like that. And I think especially guys over 40, guys over 50, feel that they're way past the game playing. So they see that as playing games, and it's kind of a turn off. So I don't think you should expect him to go in for that game playing. I think instead, also, that is also applicable to you fellas, to playing that game of waiting a certain amount of time before reaching out to her. If you are over 50, and I know many of you are, just be sincere, be vulnerable. It works so much better to let somebody know, I had a really great time. I hope that you felt the same way and that we can get together again. It doesn't leave anybody hanging or wondering or saying, you know what, I'll call you on Tuesday to see if you want to get together next weekend, instead of waiting till Thursday and somebody's sitting by the phone waiting for a clue of how the date went. Better to just let somebody know, I had a nice time. Or at the end of the date, say, it was really nice to meet you. I don't think that we have the connection that is going to be it, romantically, but I hope you have a great summer, and it was really a pleasure spending some time with you. Much more helpful, honest, sincere, forthcoming. People do appreciate that. And then if you're at the other end of that, receiving that news, just remember, you're not for everybody. Not everybody's going to like you. You're not everybody's cup of tea or cup of coffee, as it were. And that's okay, because you don't like everybody either. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles, to throw in another, what are those called? I don't know. I appreciate you stopping by today. I hope you found that helpful. If you did, give the episode a thumbs up. And then I would hope that you would subscribe to the channel and hit the ring bell. Then you get notified every time I upload a new episode. I appreciate you being here today, and I will look forward to the next time. Until then, have a good one.